The Philadelphia Flower Show, held March 2nd through 9th at Philadelphia's Pennsylvania Convention Center, drew thousands of visitors from all over the country. Among the presenters was author Jane Kirkland, who hopes to share her love of nature with both adults and children.
Kids are leading their lives like I was leading mine, oblivious and inside and hooked up and plugged in. And, we're raising some really savvy kids, and they know more than we did when we were that age. And there's also a big interest by everyone, kids and adults, to bring colorful birds and butterflies into their backyards. So that became the topic of my little talk, and we're pleased every year. We get a pretty big crowd. I think they do have two or three speakers during the week that address this topic, and it's a very popular topic.
She spoke on how to attract birds and butterflies to backyards in a fun and easy way.
So if you plant parsley, you will get black swallowtails. If you have milkweed, you will get monarchs. So the first thing is to make sure you have the right host plant for the butterfly that you're trying to attract. Of course, you have to be in the right region. Just because you want the butterfly to come and it's not native to this area, you're not going to see it. And then the second plant for butterflies is a nectar plant, which is basically almost any flower. So you could not attract the caterpillars because you don't have the host plants, but still attract the adults because you have the flowers. And not every weed is really a weed. Some of our best wildflowers people consider to be weeds. But the beauty of using native plants is you have lower maintenance. These are plants that were made to be here, okay? So you have lower maintenance, you don't have to water as often, you don't have to use pesticides and insecticides. They're naturally here, they're accustomed to the weather, no matter where you are, if you're using native plants to your area. So it's less work for you. You have less weeding, less everything with native plants. They're generally just less care, which means you have more time to enjoy the view. And as far as attracting birds use plants for many things. They use plants as food source. They use plants for nesting materials. They use plants for nesting sites. They use plants for shelter, shelter from the weather as well as shelter from predators. So they use plants in many different ways, and they also eat the insects on plants. So you might have a plant that doesn't provide the kind of seed that you would think a bird eats, but provides insects that the bird will eat. And insects in the summertime are the most important food to our songbirds and backyard birds. In fact, if you keep the feeder up all year long, you'll find that the traffic at your feeder really drops in the summertime, except for the non-native birds who will eat anything at any time.
Kirkland's future involves educating young people to becoming good stewards of the earth.
This is my legacy, okay? I don't want to leave this world not having made a mark. I don't want the mark to be about Jane Kirkland, but I want the mark to be about take a walk, about stop and look, smell the roses, appreciate. Because if we don't help our children to connect with nature, we cannot expect them to be stewards.
Steve Kopfinger, The Sunday News.